It's Pastor Blocker here, and I'm fresh out of the pulpit. But I did want to share this word with you this morning that the Lord gave us. Simply, I am better than where I've come from. It was in the Bible that they asked Jesus in the synagogue, hey, aren't you the son of Joseph the carpenter? And he had to tell them, no, I am who God called me to be. God has anointed me to preach the gospel. And I'm going to tell you something. Whatever your surroundings were that you came on, you could have come out of the best of surroundings. I know I thought that I had the greatest surroundings coming up, and I did. But I'm going to tell you this, God has called me to be better than even those who came before me. And I'm confident in that fact. Let me tell you and let you know that God has called you to be better than where you come from. He's called you to have a better name, a better everything. And I want to encourage you in this season that God has greater for you. If you're ever in our area, Elizabeth City, North Carolina, 108 Franklin Street is our church, Dominion Evangelistic. I know you heard of us. But listen, there is a snippet for you from the message today entitled, I'm better than where I come from. Hey, listen to it and be blessed. We love you. Come see about it. And one thing that is hard for us to swallow is when God begins to accelerate our lives and we go beyond what came before us. Oftentimes we would say, well, if I could be the half of the parent that my parent is, then I'd be grateful. And if your parents allow you to keep that statement, they then allow you to make a great mistake. Because the truth of the matter lies in this, that you are to have children so that when they become your age, they are better than what you are. Look at somebody and say, I'm going to be better, than where I've come from. As we read the text, we understand that Jesus was sitting in the synagogue and he was at worship and he was making statements and was saying that the Lord had anointed him to preach to the poor. He had anointed him with a special assignment. And the first question someone asked was, isn't this the son of Joseph, the carpenter? And some of us have experienced some things in our lives that we've only gotten because it came before we were born. Anybody hearing me this morning? That oftentimes we experience things in life because it was something that was passed down to us from the generation prior to us. But tell somebody, I'm better than that. I'm better than that. I'm better than that. Let me tell you, I love where I come from. I love my parents and I love the lineage in which I have. But I don't want to struggle like they had to struggle. Any witnesses here? I don't want to have to go through like I watched those before me go through. I don't want to have to make the same mistakes that those parents and those grandparents before us had made. And I just want to attest today, and I want to be a witness. If you don't want to agree, then you don't have to agree. But I'm going to be better than those that came before me. I don't want to have the experiences that my parents had. I don't want to be as, y'all just be honest, I don't want to be as broke as my parents were. I don't want to have to deal with losing things and losing people the way they did. I want to get in position until where God has created me better than the lineage that was set before me. Any agreeing in here? I can have one, and that helps me to know that I'm doing what God has called me to do. I am so dedicated to not experiencing some of the heartaches and the pains that my parents had to experience. I'm dedicated most though that we together become better. How many of y'all have ever, it's not several, I know, that have had to sit and watch your parents deal with losing things and had to sit sometimes in a house because we didn't have enough money and we had to just eat what was given to us, or we didn't have enough resources. Some people didn't even live with their parents because of the mistakes that their parents had to make. Some were raised by grandparents and uncles and aunts because of some of the mistakes. But I dare somebody in here real quick to say, I'm going to be better than that. I'm going to be better than some of y'all are in college today pursuing education because the parents and those that came before you did not pursue. So you want to make something better out of your life because you've been able to see struggle as struggle is. And this is what I come to tell you today, that some of you have already made the step forward because some of us come out of households that didn't know Jesus. Let's be real. And you realize that you can't live, or I know this ain't popular, but you can't live without Jesus. You can't deal without God in your life. And there's something, somebody said, there's got to be more than life than just this. Yeah. And sometimes we sit around and we struggle with doing and changing. And I'm coming to tell you today that I'm looking to be different in the days ahead. I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made prior, but tell somebody, I just got to be different. I got to be different. This is the explanation that you can give those friends that are about to walk out of your life. No, I don't think I'm better than you, but the path that I have to take, I can't take you with me. I'm in a place in my life now where it's just, if it's me and my four and no more, then it's just got to be that, because I'm on a mission to receive from God, and everybody can't travel on this trip with me. Come on. I need a church in here that will just be honest and say that I made some mistakes that I might regret, but I'm not going to live in my issues. I'm not going to live in my mistakes, and I'm going to move forward from it and be better than what I did. So as I examined the text, I looked at Jesus, who was excited, and he wasn't boasting, but he knew what God had sent him to earth for. Can I talk for a moment? Jeremiah 1:5 says that before I formed you in your mother's womb, I already knew who you were. Jesus didn't come here like the rest of us came. Y'all know how you got here. I ain't got to help you with the birds and the bees this morning, but I just tell you that we came out of the loins of a man and a woman, and those same loins that we came from, we possess some good and some bad. Y'all understand? So some of the habits that you have are not even habits that you created. Some of the habits that you have are not even habits that you would have chosen for yourself. Some of the habits that you have are habits that came along with the package. Some of the stuff that we carry, some of the emotions that we have, sometimes depression, sometimes worrying, sometimes just misunderstanding. You didn't get that on your own. It came from the loins that you were birthed from. But tell somebody, I was birthed to be different. Family won't understand, friends won't understand, but I'm in a position in my life that I've got to move away from what I was if I want to live the way I want to live. Be honest, everybody around me, well, why are you taking so much time in college? And why are you spending all this time when you can just quit, get a good job, and make some money? No, but that's how you did it. And let's be real, that's how my mom did it, and how my daddy did it. But I'm in position now to say that I don't want to live how they live. I don't want to have to drive how they drive. Matter of fact, I don't want to have to bum rides how they had to bum rides. I want better for myself. And if it means me getting closer to God than they were, then I just got to do what I got to do. Oh yes, I patterned it after those that came before me. Everybody before me was a preacher. Everybody before me was this, and everybody before me was that. But if you would continue in this way, saying, sure, I am the son of, but I'm not going to be them. You wonder why you have emotions like you have. Some of us men wonder why we just instantly flirt with women. You know, some men wonder why you just have this way about you. And the truth be told, it ain't something you just developed. Yeah, you were actually born with it. And now you have to get to the place in your life, you got to get in a place in your life where you have to change your mindset enough to say that I'm not going to deal with my daddy's issue. I'm not going to deal with my, oh, y'all ain't talking to me in here. I'm not going to deal with talk about that for a minute. You don't even tell me when good things are going on in your life. Well, because the last time I told you, you tried to discourage me. Yeah, last time I tried to share with you some good news, you tried to tell me that I could take your route. Well, you see where your route got you. You see where your way got you. I can't take that route no more. I need to look at somebody and say, I'm following kingdom agenda. I'm not following how my daddy wanted me to do it, how my auntie wanted me to do it, but there's an agenda that I've got to follow and tell somebody it may take longer than usual. Oh, y'all ain't gonna talk. It might take longer than usual. It might take 6 years when it should have took 4 years. But I've got to follow the agenda of God because I got to be better or much better than they were before me. Problem is that some of us are going to have, y'all have to forgive me, but some of us are going to have to detach ourselves from mama and daddy.
All right.
That don't mean that you ain't going to, love them the same way. And that don't mean that we can't be mother, daddy, and son, and mother, daddy, and daughter, and sister, and brother, and cousin. But that means that they got to stop dictating where God is taking me. Because if I can continue the way you want me to continue, then I'll die with your same name. Y'all ain't gonna say that? I don't want to have to die with what people know me as. I want to exceed that level of life and be what you called me to be. Daddy was a preacher, but I got to die an apostle. Why? Because I got to be different from where you are. And the truth is, I choose life and not death. You wonder why can I just preach like I feel it this morning? You wonder why your parents ain't getting no farther than where they are. Because we got too comfortable. And thought that this was as far as God could take me. But God says that I am the God that can do exceeding abundantly and above all you could ask or even think. I guess somebody that just shouted here, I'm better than where I came from. Folks want to say you can take a girl out the hood, but you can't take the hood out of a girl. I beg to differ. I don't want nothing to do with my hood. And when I leave deuces, then I gotta go and find me a new surrounding that says God has created me better than the mess that I came out of. And the truth be told, when I come out, I'm gonna urge you to get out of there too. And if you don't want to leave them, I'm taking the dust off my feet. I dare you to holler, I'm gonna be better than where I came from. So, as I sit and examine the life that I had, comes to the conclusion. Can I just be transparent? I look nice on Sunday, but I ain't the cleanest cat around. Can I just say this? I take a bath. Don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I take a shower. Don't you try it. I got good color. And I got good cologne. Don't you try me here. But I'm not the greatest housekeeper.
Oh, God. All right.
And so I have a wife who understands. Sometimes understands. And sometimes don't understand. And now I got to step on her toe for a second. You're going to have to, in your process of being better than where you come from, you're going to have to understand the process of becoming. Why? Because I've been this way for so long. You can talk to you blue in the face. I understand what you're saying. Yes. But I too have to break the mold of what I was.
Come on.
Right?
And
it takes a minute because my mind says I gotta do better than this. But what I was ain't lined up yet with my mind. So I want you not to judge me off of what my body is saying. I need you to find out that. Because if you really connected with me, I know she connected, I ain't talking to her no more. then you'd understand my mindset. And if you was really connected with me, you'd see my attempt. Y'all ain't gonna talk. I wish I had some folk in here that'll just jump up real good and say, don't you judge me, I'm trying. Y'all don't mean what you said. I said jump up in here and say, don't judge me, I'm trying. I hear every time you say it. I hear every time you pray. I see every time you cry. But I'm trying to be better. They saturated me with who they were. And now I gotta change my mindset. I wish I had somebody that'll just holler, I'm better, I'm better. If you ain't better yet, you gotta speak it to the tongue. I may be at my worst, but I'm better. I may not have it all together, but I'm better. I may not look like it right now, but give me a few more days. I'm better. I'm in my becoming process. I've already signed the paperwork. Just give me a few more days. And what you're looking for is going to produce out of me. Why? Because I got the desire. Why? Because I changed my heart. I made to look up to heaven and say, Lord, make me better. I don't want to live like they live. I don't want to struggle like I struggled before. I got to be better. I need to be better. I want to be better. Somebody, anybody, everybody screaming here. I'm not going to shout around. I'm not going to act like I don't need to change. But baby, give me a minute. I've been jacking up all along. And this fight ain't over yet. Look at somebody and say, I'm going to win this thing. When it don't look like it, I'm going to win. When it loses, it's on my forehead, I'm going to win. Tell somebody I'm going to be better than where I came from. Yes. The Bible says, the book of Mark, that even Jesus knew that people thought otherwise of him.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, help me in here. So he looked at the disciples and said, hey, check it. Who do men say I am? I said, some say you're this one, that ain't me. And some say you might be this one, that ain't me. But the men said, I see you for who you are. I see you to be not even Joseph's son. I see you to be the Son of God. I'm going to tell you something. You got to act for who you are until folks start seeing your potential. You know what I'm talking about? Folks always going to call you what they knew you by. Oh, they wish I put it to you.